Happy Monday, guys. Here to break down, obviously, the show on the slate. We got Packers, we have Lions, we have another Millie Maker, too. It's really nice to see they continue to put out Millie Makers for almost every single show on the slate. So a lot of money to be won in this one. Again, in these streams, there'll be general, more Q&A, so make sure to leave some questions in the chat. Hope you guys had a good show on the slate last night. For me, it went really, really well. Had Pringle and Hardman, my two values. It's nice to see Pringle catch that long touchdown pass, but hoping to keep it going. Showdowns so far this year for NFL have treated me really well, so hoping to continue it with this Showdown slate. Now, going over the Vegas odds, again, it's a 48.5 over under, and the Packers are 11.5 point favorite. So I think the chalk build is going to be kind of a Packers onslaught or a Packer stack, like a 5-1, 4-2 stack. I think you can get different. I think there's some lines that are interesting, some cheaper guys, a couple spend ups that are viable, but yeah, let's get into the Q&A, guys. So make sure to leave some questions in the chat. And let's see. So MVS in the captain spot. My only issue with MVS, I feel like he's going to be a little bit over-owned. He is 5'6". I think people are... I just see a lot of people talking about him. He had 8 targets. He does have the big play upside. Like, he's a guy that can go get like a 50-yard catch and a touchdown. I'm fine with it. I just think in tournaments, give me the guy that I think will be lower owned in Allen Lazard and is a little bit cheaper. That's just my take on it. I think both are pretty similar plays. I think MVS is going to be more popular based on what we saw last game. You're not doing anything but Adams in the captain. I don't think it's a bad move. I think obviously you can't go wrong with Devontae Adams in the captain. There's enough value to make that work, and you can feel pretty good about it too. But, yeah, Torrey, Josh, what's up, guys? Adams 50 bomb. Yeah, the Packers are going to come out angry, right? After getting killed last week, I think they're going to want... Like, I would be shocked if the Packers lay an egg here. I would. I think they come out and light it up. Rakan, how's it going, man? Aaron Jones, sneaky captain in GPPs. Yeah, I think he will be a little bit lower owned than Devontae Adams for sure. Jones obviously didn't do much as the Packers offense in general just couldn't move the ball. Home favorite, so 11.5 points, right? So expect to see a heavy dose of Aaron Jones. The only downside you can really say about him is A.J. Dillon will get mixed in, probably somewhat like a 70-30, 60-40 split. But Jones is going to be productive when he touches the ball. He'll probably get some red zone carries as well, and they should be punched from ahead. So I'm perfectly fine going to Aaron Jones there. Yeah, MVS or Lazard. I mean, for me, it's just a small lean to Lazard. It's really just an ownership thing. I'm thinking MVS is going to be more popular than Lazard. Both, I think, are pretty similar options. They're the clear, number 2, number 3 behind Devontae Adams. 8 targets, 3 catches, 8 targets for MVS last week, and Lazard had 2 catches and 4 targets. So I think it's just an ownership thing. I think they're pretty similar plays. And in tournaments, I'm always going to lean to the guy that I think will be a little bit lower owned. Cephas or Brown straight up. I think I would lean St. Brown, the Lions St. Brown that is, over Cephas. The reason is snap counts, right? He played more. He played 64%, which is second on the team. He'll also be playing in the slot. And Jared Goff was getting the ball out quick. So I think it actually helps the slot receiver a little bit more, where Cephas had a good day, but only played 35% of the snaps. So that's just my take on it. I think I would rather go to St. Brown, is a little bit cheaper. I think he plays more. But yeah, cheap Lions are, all the Lions wide receivers are cheap. So I think you can make the argument for the top 4 guys. Samuel, what's up, man? Yeah, I'm hoping to keep it going. Again, Showdowns have treated us pretty well. Adams captain with Rodgers, Goff, Williams, Benson, and St. Brown. So Williams, that's Jamal Williams. Okay. Yeah, it's the Jamal Williams revenge game narrative, if you guys are into that. Now, what I will say with these Lions backs is don't expect like 25 fantasy points from both of them again, right? That was just a complete outlier game from the Lions offense. They got 2 onside kicks or whatever it was. They also, I think they played over 90 offensive snaps. That's not going to happen again, right? So that's all I'll say is be a little bit cautious with these Lions backs. Maybe they get a little bit more ownership than they should. You should not expect 25 fantasy points on every single week for each back, right? I think it's going to be somewhat of like a 60-40 split with Swift getting more work. But, yeah, I think they both might be a little bit over-owned after last week. Okay, A.J. Dillon. Yeah, so I actually kind of like A.J. Dillon as a value play. Right, Green Bay projected to be pretty big favorites here. And if they do get off to say they're leading by 2-3 touchdowns in the second half, you could see A.J. Dillon get a little bit more mixed in than Aaron Jones if the game's kind of out of hand at that point. So, and he's cheap. He will get touches. So I think A.J. Dillon's a pretty safe value. Tommy, how's it going, man? Lazard and Raymond or Tunyon and St. Brown. So I'm guessing is that the Lions St. Brown? So what, Lazard and Raymond are both like close to 8K or above 8K, and Tunyon is 6K. Yeah, so that would probably be the Lions St. Brown, right? I'll go the second one, but it's pretty close. Playing plenty of Detroit pass catchers today, but only one wide receiver, hoping for TJ Swift and Trinity to catch a lot of balls. Okay, yeah. The positive again with the Lions receivers is they're all cheap, and it should be negative game script, meaning they're going to be playing from behind, so they're probably going to have to air it out more. So I think if you look at the depth chart for the Lions, I think the top 4 guys you can make an argument for, right? So Terrell Williams is out. It's Raymond, St. Brown, Cephas, Trinity, Benson. I think all viable plays. I don't have a super strong lane. I'm oh my god, I have to play this cheap Lions receiver. But I think you can kind of mix and match those guys in. Let's see. Taking price in consideration, Hockenson or Aaron Jones. It's going to be Aaron Jones for me. I like the game script of Packers getting out to huge lead early, Goff playing catch up through the air most of the game. Yeah, I mean that's kind of good for Jared Goff, right? I think it always seems like average or below average quarterbacks in the showdown states go lower owned than they should. Andy Dalton, obviously not a great quarterback, but in that showdown slate, he was 20%. A quarterback should never be 20% on a showdown slate. Now, do I think Jared Goff's going to be 20%? No, I think he'll be higher than that. But I do think he'll be lower owned than they should. And even though I don't think he's a great quarterback, that doesn't really matter, right? He's probably going to have to air it out a lot in the second half with the Lions most likely playing from behind unless something weird happens. So, yeah, I think Goff's a pretty solid play. I do think he'll be a little bit too low owned. If you guys are just coming in, though, if you could, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe as well. Again, getting close to 10K. If you guys do enjoy the content, that is. How would you approach a single entry on DK? So single entry, for the showdown slate, build a relatively, chalky lineup, but maybe get different in 1 or 2 spots. The way I play the showdown slates is I usually just play the large field tournament, so I take a lot of risk or leave money on the table. I don't think you have to get crazy on in single entry, and I would probably play a little bit safer. So maybe just go to one of those main Packers guys and the captain. And maybe get different in one or 2 ways. Maybe play low on wide receiver, but I wouldn't get super risky in the single entry stuff. Is Raymond in? Yeah, he's in. He's in. The only thing you have to worry about, obviously, what was the injury? It was a thigh injury. He's active. I mean, could aggravate that, I guess, but he's technically their number 1 wide receiver at only 4.4. Does Lard MVS play the same amount? They should. Taking a look at snap counts here for Green Bay. So you got to take into account that the fourth quarter, none of the starters played, so you saw a lot of the backups. Lazard 68%, MVS 63% in 3 quarters. They're basically going to be out there the entire game with Devontae Adams. Maybe Cobb gets a few snaps here and there, but don't expect much. I would expect a lot of those 3 wide receivers for Green Bay. Benson value play. I think he's fine. He's 1K. Now, he's the number 4 on the depth chart, but he also played more than Cephas last game. So he played 53%, technically 3rd most on the team. So snap count-wise for Trinity Benson, maybe 40, 50%. So definitely viable at 1K. Raymond or Crosby? So Crosby's the much safer play. Green Bay going to be playing from ahead. You might get a couple field goals. Raymond's the guy that has more upside. Obviously, if he can catch a touchdown. So it depends kind of what you're playing, but Crosby the much safer play there. You love the revenge narrative, LOL. Then if you love the revenge narrative, Jamal Williams is your guy. Or you have the St. Browns playing against each other, even though the Green Bay St. Brown don't expect him to play. What is contrarian in my opinion if you play both Lions backs? That'll definitely be contrarian. No, I don't think a lot of people are going to do that. I just think you can get different without getting too crazy, right? So I think the chalk build is going to be the Packers onslaught. So maybe instead of like going Green Bay 5-1, you go like Green Bay 4-2 or Green Bay 3-3, like you have 3 Lions or 2 Lions mixed in there. Who's the wide receiver 2 for Detroit? So like it's not really, I mean, it's technically St. Brown playing out of the slot, but like all 4 guys I think get a decent amount of work here in a game they should be playing from behind. So there's no like, oh, I'm looking at the depth chart and I have to play St. Brown over Cephas because he's listed ahead of him. It's not like a huge deal because Lions receivers in general kind of just like, yeah, probably one of the worst receiving cores I would say in the NFL. Is Aaron Rodgers going to be playing? Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is going to be playing. I see Jones being high owned. Do you think Aaron Jones is going to be high owned? I would say he's probably behind ownership of Devontae and Aaron Rodgers. That's just my guess because A.J. Dillon obviously is going to be mixed in. I could be wrong. Taking a huge risk in putting Benson at captain. Okay, yeah, so like I talked about that build right in the Kansas City-Baltimore show on last night, how you can play someone cheap in the captain and then go team jam them in. You just got to hope the guy you get in the captain either has like a really good day or catches a touchdown. And it was Mark actually had a massive day last night because he used Pringle in the captain, $60 into 7.5K. So, you can do that. It's a super high risk, high reward strategy, playing someone super cheap in the captain. But all you really need for that to happen is your cheap guy to get in the end zone. So, yeah, if you want to go Trinity Benson, the captain, I think that does make some sense. You just got to hope he can have a solid day. And then you can basically get whoever else you want into your lineup. Goff a captain, I probably wouldn't do it, no. He doesn't have much rushing upside. If I'm going a QB in the captain, would rather go with a guy that has some rushing upside, like, Daniel Jones or Lamar Jackson, right? A couple people are definitely going to play the wrong St. Brown today. I think that's possible, right? Some people are going to play I don't even know how to pronounce his name from Green Bay, the Green Bay St. Brown. Hockenson, Aaron Jones, or Goff. For me, it's Jones. Hit the like button. Yeah, guys, if you enjoy, at least hit that like button. Would appreciate it. What do you think of Goff? And yeah, I think Goff's going to be too low owned. It always seems like the below average quarterbacks are going to be are too low owned on these shown sites. So like my guess ownership, I would say sub 50%, maybe 40% for Goff, I think. Is Cobb worth taking a flyer? It's really risky. I'm not 100% sure, but did he get some snaps with the regular unit? Because it looks like he might have just played with all the backups in the fourth quarter. I could be wrong in that. I didn't watch that game. But right now it's definitely not something I feel great about. Robert Tonyan I'm kind of indifferent about, just in the mid-range. I think he was kind of forgotten about. The reason I think you get to him is ownership. Well, Andrew, the $5 super chat. Thank you, man. Thanks, Charlie Dude. Just playing some double ups. Appreciate it, man. How do you feel about Captain Hockenson with Rodgers, MVS, Crosby, Dillon, Jones? Feel it's going to be a blowout. So you're playing some double ups. I probably wouldn't go Hockenson in the captain if you're playing cash. I would probably go to one of the main Green Bay guys. So like Rodgers or Adams or Jones is probably where I go for cash games. So appreciate the super chat. Adams a captain with Cephas, Dillon, Hockenson, Rodgers, and Cephas. Wait, Cephas in there twice? Benson, St. Brown, and Cephas. Yeah, the Lions receivers, it's kind of like, I don't have a super strong take. I don't think a lot of people are going to. I just think you want to mix and match, right? If you're making one lineup, it's a little bit trickier. But, like, there's no Lions wide receiver that I'm like, oh, my God, I like him way more than the rest. Like, I would be lying to you if I said, like, there's one Lions receiver that stands out. Not really. There's 4 guys, and I think mix and match or, kind of just hope the guy you play has a good day. Safety-wise, probably the top 2 guys I would say are the safest, that being Raymond and St. Brown. For what's worth, right? Raymond probably plays the most, and St. Brown will play out of the slot. And again, Goff is going to most likely have to throw the ball quick. So, like, those 2 are probably the safest, if that means anything. Let's see. You'd rather do MME big tournaments than Showdown? Me too, right? I like trying to get unique. Lazard play more than MVS. Yeah, slightly, by like a couple snaps. Which lines of receivers most likely to get Alexander coverage? It's a good question. I don't have a good answer for you. I don't know. But MVS more targets plus area yards. I think Raymond will be low owned. Yeah, again, the top 4 Lions receivers all in play. As I said, I don't have a super strong take on that. Opinions on Raymond, probably the safest Lions receiver technically because he's number 1 in the depth chart and should play the most. Right? He played the most last game. So him, St. Brown probably played the most making them, I would say, the safer options. But safety doesn't always pay off, right? Do you like 4-2 in favor of Packers? I think that's probably going to be a popular build, but yeah, I like it. Aaron Rodgers a captain, 5 to 10 cash games for sure. Opinions on Raymond, again, we went over that. Cephas or Dylan? That's a good question. I'll lean A.J. Dillon there. Is Swift good to go? Yeah, he's in. So him and Jamal Williams should split the running back touches here. You're playing Goff. Yeah, again, I think Goff goes a little bit lower owned. What do you think about playing? What would you do if you think Rodgers checked out and is playing bad on purpose to get traded? Fade him if that's what you think. I really don't think that's going to happen. Again, I would be. Whoa, I got to refresh. I just got like super zoomed in the chat. Hold on. Oh, it's still that way. Give me 1 sec, guys. Hold on. I just had to zoom out. I was trying to Google how to. So Option Command minus. Is this really not going to work? All right, it's super zoomed in right now, but whatever. Just on my chat, I'll figure it out later. Cobb got 6 snaps through 3 quarters. Okay, thanks for that. Yeah, so like I don't expect a lot of work there for Cobb. How do you feel about Captain Swift with Rodgers? I mean, captaining a Lions player is going to be risky, but it'll make your lineup unique. My only concern with those Lions backs is, I guess I think there might be a little bit too high owned on this one, based on what we saw last game. How do you feel about Adams captain with Crosby, Goff? Adams captain with Crosby, Goff, Hockenson, Brown, MB. I think it's pretty safe. Fells or Hodge? That's just like a large field dart throw for both. Hodge is right now the number 5 wide receiver, so he might get a couple snaps formerly of the Cleveland Browns. And then you have Fells, who is the backup tight end, more of a blocking tight end. My opinion on it is I don't think we have to get that contrarian. I probably wouldn't do either. Wouldn't Raymond play out of the slot? I think St. Brown's going to play a lot out of the slot. Captain Adams with Raymond, Lazard, Benson, Goff, Rodgers, thoughts. I like it. Let's see. Make my lineup Randall Cobb captain when I remember be careful with Randall Cobb, right? He played, according to chat, 6 snaps through 3 quarters. Played a lot in garbage time. If I'm playing TJ, Raymond, Detroit, St. Brown, should I roster Goff? You don't have to. Like, if you're playing targets, you don't have to go to the quarterback. Defense, any moves there? Probably not for me. The Packers defense would be the one I would consider. Obviously, going up against that Lions offense is not great, but they're 5K. If they're like 3K, it'd be more in play. Again, it can work out, but I don't love it. Tunyon captain, we'll give you your unique lineup. Yeah, your lineup will be unique for sure. How much does Mercedes play? So he's the backup tight end for Green Bay. If we go over to snap counts, I can show you how much he played last week. It was 26%. Expect maybe 30, 40% for him. I'm shocked he's still in the league. I am. Crosby at captain. I probably wouldn't do it. But hey, if the Lions can shut them down in the red zone and force a lot of field goals, could work out. And you saw kickers are for sure viable. You saw in the Giants-Washington game where I think both kickers were in the winning lineup. What about St. Brown captain? Really, any Lions player in the captain will get you a pretty unique lineup. I'm guessing that's a Lions St. Brown. If you do that, then you can kind of go that jam in approach, jam in like the top guys. You can get all through the Green Bay studs. You can get Goff. You could get like one of the Lions main guys if you want. So I think that does make some sense. It's a risky build, as I said, but all you really need for that to work, I think, would be like St. Brown, have a really good day or catch a touchdown. Are you an idiot for fading Adams? I mean, if I'm building one lineup, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it, but if I was building multiple, let's just say I had 10 or 20 lineups, I think you could leave him out in one or two. Thoughts on Dylan at captain? Yeah, I think that's makes a little bit of sense. It's obviously a risky play, but I do expect him to get 30-40% of snaps there. Mercedes Lewis will channel his inner Jags days. Yeah, again, he is literally almost 40 years old, and he's still playing as a tight end, which is insane. Jamal a captain? I probably wouldn't. Again, I think those Lions backs will be a little bit too high owned. Adams captain with Rodgers, Goff, Lazard, Jadell, and St. Brown. Fine with it. Is it too much to get Jones, Rodgers, and Adams in one? Is it too much to get Jones, Adams? No, that's fine. If you want to just go that Green Bay onslaught, which I think will be popular build, that totally makes some sense. The reason I do kind of like Jared Goff is I think a lot of people are going to go that route, just jam the top Green Bay guys in and maybe get one Lions guy in their lineup. So I just think Goff, my take is I think Goff will be too low owned in tournaments. Tonyan getting no love. Yeah, I agree. I think Tonyan is kind of just, he's indifferent to me, which, I think he's at a weird price point where like 6'4", I just think he flies under the radar. Had 4 targets last week. He is their main tight end. He's a decent pass-catching tight end. I'm good with that as contrarian play. Depends what you're playing. Like, are you playing cash or GPP? You really think Goff will do good in Green Bay? I mean, no, I'm not like saying to play Jared Goff. My take is I think Jared Goff will be lower owned than he should. That's what I'm saying. So, like, don't feel like me saying that makes you have to play Jared Goff. I just think he'll be too low owned. It's going to be negative game script, almost guaranteed. So he's going to be playing from behind, having to air it out more. That's all I'm saying. I just think he'll be too low owned. What do you think? Yeah, so I go over that in Patreon, like what I think optimal build is, my favorite builds for tournaments, my favorite like top plays, I guess. Lazard or MVS, that really comes down to ownership. I think they're pretty similar plays. If I had to pick, would lean Lazard, because I think he'll be a little bit lower owned. Lazard or Raymond, that's basically a toss-up. I guess if I had to, Lazard, but that's not like a strong take either. Adams, captain, Rodgers, Tonyan, Hawkinson, Cephas, and Benson. That'll be a contrarian lineup. Again, I think just throwing like a guy like Tonyan in there will make your lineup unique. Tonyan as captain in cash, I wouldn't do it in cash. Like, that's fine for GPPs, but for cash teams, you really want to focus on the guys that have the high floor. So, like, Tonyan's not a guy that has a high floor. He can go get you 3 catches for 20 yards, and that's it. So, target more of those high floor guys for cash. You guys said lock in Goff a captain. Yeah. How about Cobb getting some looks? He only played 6 snaps through 3 quarters and then got a lot of play basically the entire game in the 4th quarter. So be careful with Cobb. Things could change, but based on what we saw last game, not encouraging. Fade Goff in cash. You don't have to play Goff in cash games. No. In tournaments, though, again, I think he'll be lower owned than he should. Like, I think around 40% for Goff, maybe a little bit lower. Captain Adams with St. Brown, Rodgers, Hawk, Lazard, and Crosby. I like it. I think it's a solid build. Really, the main Green Bay guys and the captain all feel pretty safe. Adams just has insane upside. So, yeah, someone asked me earlier, would I fade Devonta Adams? I probably wouldn't, unless you're just building a ton of lineups. New to DFS, what do you mean by GBP versus cash? So cash is where like half the field wins. So either head-to-head, 50-50, where half the field wins, or double-ups. And then GBP is the like top-heavy payout structure where it's like 15% of the field wins, and obviously like top 1% wins most of the money. So cash games, you always want to go for the higher floor guys. GBPs, you can take more risks. You've got Adams with Dylan, Lazard, Rodgers, St. Brown, last spot, Goff or Aaron Jones, single entry, large field. I guess Goff, because I think he'll be lower owned. Thoughts on fading Adams for GPPs? Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't. You got Aaron Jones, captain, safe. Any of the main Green Bay guys in the captain spot, I think, is pretty safe. I'm trying to zoom out on this for Mac, but it's not letting me. Let's see. Why is this not letting me zoom out? Oh, there we go. Here we go. Okay. Still don't know what happened there. But, all right, where are we at? Scroll down. I'll be live for a couple more minutes, guys. Any last minute questions, throw them in here. Captain, never mind, I'm just going to answer it. Okay. Captain Adams, Rodgers, Cephas, Dillon, Valdez, Swift. How do you feel? I think it's a solid GPP build. My only concern, as I've said, is I think the Lions backs might be a little bit too high on. I think they're going to split the touches there. Cephas or Crosby. Crosby, the much safer play. Much safer play. Cephas is, I would say, more of your high-risk, high-reward play. Will Benson see the ball, you think? I think that the top 4 Lions receivers will be out there. So he is number 4 on the depth chart. I think he'll get some run. Crosby versus Green Bay D versus Lazard for last spot in. GBPs, Lazard, Cash looks like Crosby. Rodgers or Adams for FanDuel MVP. Can't go wrong with either. I'll say Adams. DK, do you see that? I bet that guy did 16-game parlay so far. He's 15-16. He's the Lions to win tonight. Wow, I would just opt out of that and take the whatever money that was. But I don't see the Lions winning. Favre's captain. Are you fading Aaron Jones? I'll tell you what exactly I'm doing over on Patreon. Adams, Dillon, Lazard, Goff, St. Brown, Hawk. How do you feel about this one? No issues. 2 running backs, same line, viable, you think? 2 running backs in the same line? Yeah, that's fine. Cephas or St. Brown? Really, I don't have super strong take in the Lions receivers. I don't. If I had to pick, I guess St. Brown. But pretty much, mix and match those top 4 wide receivers, I'll say. All right, guys. Well, appreciate you guys coming to check out the live stream. Right now, I'm too zoomed in to see how many viewers we got. But thank you, guys. Enjoy this game. Hopefully, we see some big winners. Hopefully, someone in here takes down the Millie. I'll be back Thursday. I know all of you guys are super excited for some Texans-Panthers Thursday night football. Should be a barn burner. But, yeah, guys, I'm going to hop out of here. So good luck tonight, and I'll see you all in the next one.